humbly greet good fellows out there. Yes, I humbly greet you, good fellows out there. Moments like this, issues of life had to be addressed in such a way that the evil within us can be clearly exposed. Including myself, I'm not outside of these discussions. I'm actually in this discussion. I am actually presenting it in a very way that I feel is right and embraceable. And I'm hoping that you'll be side by side with me in order to be able to achieve a common purpose. I still hold on to the same Christian Bible, which is the Holy Bible. It's a red letter Bible. There is a Quran here, which is also for the Muslims. The Quran, the Abdullah, Yusuf, Ali. Most current Quran, books have all been translated by the same person. And we'll look into it and see why is it so, from my point of view, why is it so not authentic? Why is it not a book that I am sort of disputing its existence of being linked to a supreme God? That's the ultimate one true God that the book talks about. But it also complicates that with other statements to sort of reveal God being in many forms or many state of manifestations. And there are other religions also that stand alongside with their own sort of presentation and way of belief of what the faith is all about. It's more to establish something to do with a very peaceful society, a peaceful life within you as an individual, because the person that you are most of the time is divided in so many ways, either in your thoughts or in your actions, or in our interactions, whichever way it is. And that divisions torn us apart. It's also something that we can see as it reveals the differences in our life. And I do have my differences. I have things that I stand by, things that I believe are right, things that I believe are wrong. But apart from what we know, there is this standard agreement that we have to embrace that has something to do with the teachings of what the Bible says, or what the Quran says, or what the the 7 books of Buddha will say, or whichever books the Buddhist people use will sort of bring out as the moral norms of life, or standard by which any person who is involved or has chosen that path of faith is meant to follow or obey. I happen to meet a Christian or a so-called human being, a woman or somebody today who would, in every way invite me to sort of to his church as to become a Christian. Now the question that he will sort of put forth was, I would like to invite you to my church. Then I have to put a question to this person and ask why would you want me to come to your church? Now her response back was because salvation, you can get salvation from that. I say, okay, that's not too bad, but the thing is, what makes you think that I need salvation or I'm a sinner? And then she said completely, everybody is a sinner, and that is the reason why I have to come there, come to his church. I say, okay, but what makes you think that I am a sinner? Now she has concluded that I'm a sinner, but she had to deny again. And then she says, no, you are not. I'm not saying you are a sinner, but it's general. Anybody born of a woman is seen as a sinner. I say, okay, if that's what it is, then let me ask you one question. I think that will put us to the point where what I want to prove. What makes us sinners? Then she says, born by the womb. Adam also sinned, and our ancestors sinned, and it all come down to us. Obviously, from what she's saying, and if you and I have checked some of the scriptures in the book of Deuteronomy and so forth, the Old Testament, it is clearly stated there that the ancestors' sins will not be passed on to us. So if she's speaking on this from the point of view of Christians, then she really had an issue there of misunderstanding, or maybe the lack of knowledge in terms of what the Bible is saying. And I could clearly see that she has not gone into it extensively to see all those verses and chapters, and she's just out there doing something on her own. An elderly person who over time has felt convicted to do something, and she thinks that she had to do that. But this is not a joke, you can't go out there and be joking of that nature, of something that you know nothing of. But to her standard or her level, she feels she knows something of. I don't blame her for that. I blame that whoever it is that knows but has put it out there, that is the real evil, or the real devil, the real demon, or the real sinner person, a sinner. Because if you who knows best, who have read it, understood it, know all about it, and you've put it out there, selling it, asking people just like her to fall into the trap of trying to convict other people and all that, knowing that the whole thing is bizarre and it is not right, it's not straightforward, then you are to be blamed for that. And obviously we all know the sources of these places. They are printers, they are so-called academics that have probably end up make the translations and all that. People who claim it a lot. It's not something secret. And here she finds herself wanting, because I ask her then she says, okay, that's where it came from. I say, okay, but this Adam and these people, where did they came from? He said, God created them. I said, God created them. Did God create them perfect or imperfect? He said, God created them imperfect. She admitted herself the fact that there were weaknesses in the flesh. I said, then if God do that, then why would he then blame them for any sin or any wrongdoing? Then she got confused there again. But for her, the excuses that sometimes people have are so ridiculous. Her readiness to sort of prove herself worthy of what she's doing wasn't there anymore, because she's completely was clear now, seeing the point where I'm coming from and where I'm driving her to. She just had to hold it back and say, oh, you are just trouble, you're confusing, and there she goes, made excuses and got off the whole debate or conversation. And I felt sorry for her and the way she was, she approached the whole thing and how she going about it, even if it was meant for something good to come out. Obviously, she realized that she wasn't making sense. There wasn't any logic coming out of it. And there she was. She hasn't read and take time to think things through. It hasn't occurred to us. I said, oversight. It happens to anybody, no matter what you are. This woman is very older than me. A very old woman, elderly woman. So why would she allow herself to fall into that mistake? I don't blame her. I don't blame anybody. The books are there. The errors are there. She has been falling into the trap. She's one of the traps that I talk about every day. You listen to the unveiling trap and you find out not just the trap being the problem, but also the fact that these things cannot generate peace. Because she has stand on her point of view and nothing can change her mind. Her views and everything that she is thinking is violent, is evil. It will not provoke anything peaceful, nothing good, no good results. But she has stuck to that. What good would that do to anybody? She hasn't got an open-minded approach to anything. Now she takes it back, she goes away. And I'm just looking at her and I'm saying, look at this. How are we going to live? That is craziness. But that is what it is. That's the reality of it. I'm sure you know of it and I know of it. It might take time. Words can do that much. But that little much that the words can do is worth it. That's why I'm taking the effort to do it. At the end of the day, how do we achieve peace? These are just a tiny bit of example I'm giving you. But in the general sense of what these books are, or what our faith is about, we have to be able, to